Is good, guys. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be recapping MSC 2025. We're going to be doing kind of like a mini recap, what I think about the event, my favorite moments and stuff. And then we're going to be doing a playoff prediction. We're going to be predicting every single matchup. I'm going to be giving you who's going to make it to finals and who's going to reign supreme. Let's start with the event. The event has been good so far. Obviously, if you guys don't know, they're playing in like the smoke because there's two kind of like arenas at the EWC. They're playing in like the kind of what would be like a stream B. They're playing in the smaller one, because it's group stages. But for the actual knockouts, they're gonna be playing at the ones that they were playing in League of Legends. So it's gonna be a pretty big arena. It's gonna be very, very tough. And yeah, most importantly, I'm just excited, bro. I'm just excited. The games have been entertaining. Team Liquid versus Onyx ID was really that was incredible. It was back and forth. Definitely the best series of the whole entire event. But yeah. As for the predictions, I'm gonna be just saying who I think is gonna win. I'm not gonna go super into detail on every single team because like you guys already know, right? Like if you're watching this video, you already know that these teams are like good. Obviously, they have to be good if they made the top 8. Yeah, I think all these teams are pretty good. Like, I would say they're all above B tier. But let's start off with Team Liquid Philippines versus Aurora Turkey. Best of 5 up until the finals, which will be best of 7, of course, as tradition. But yeah, Aurora versus Team Liquid. Aurora is interesting because Aurora beat Onyx, but they struggled against Flash. And their drafts in that series were fucking horrible. They were drafting Gujin, Franco, Sushin. So they were drafting pretty much no scaling, no real team fighting, just like pure pickoffs, which just does not work in the current meta. Franco into Kalea too. Like Aurora is a good team, but I think they have that like choke in them. I think that they can be clutch. We can see like the potential in this team. You don't beat Onyx Philippines by luck. This team is very, very good. But if their drafts aren't amazing, I don't see how they can win. I think drafts for this team are going to be everything. They are really, really inconsistent because they lost to RQ, they struggled against Team Flash, but then they beat Onyx. So they went 2-1, which is not too bad. I think that Onyx win is definitely carrying their weight because if you look at that Flash series, it was pretty bad. No offense to Team Flash, but like, bro, like that team is just it's they're not that good, you know? So, it is what it is, but yeah. Do I think they're beating Team Liquid? No. I mean, Team Liquid Philippines is the best team right now. I think that it's gonna be very, very hard to beat this team just because of the foundation, like the system that they have. They have the most solid game plan ever. Team Liquid for years. I mean, Echo, it's always been front to back. It can be utility when you need it. It can be assassins when you need it. It can be fighter when you need it. Um, Carl Teasy makes that team so, so good. This team is not unbeatable. I mean, we saw them drop a game to Onyx ID, and they should have lost that series because that game two was purely won due to the fact that Oheb's insane SOD stole the Lord because his SOD did 2,000 damage, which is fucking crazy, by the way. But like Team Liquid Philippines is a really, really good team. They're not unbeatable though. They still obviously no team doesn't show weaknesses. Like it's literally impossible to play perfect Mobile Legends because you would literally have to make no mistakes for 20 minutes, and that's just unrealistic. But for Team Liquid Philippines, I think they are the most consistent team, and they've been the most consistent team since like May, if you really do think about it. Ever since the end of the regular season and MPLPH up until now, they have been the most consistent team. So yeah, I think they're gonna win. Do I think Turkey gets a win? I think Turkey gets a win. I think 3-1 because I do think this team is very, very good, and we saw them beat Onyx twice, which again, that's not a fluke. And I'm not saying they're gonna take a game off of TL. just because they took 2 games off of Onic. I genuinely believe that if they get a really, really good draft, they can run away with a lead because the early game is pretty solid. But I don't think it's going to be enough to beat Team Liquid 3 times. Let's go on the other side of the bracket and talk about it because I don't know if I should start with Team Spirit, Onic, or I should just do RRQ because also like this for I just noticed like the format of EWC is pretty fucking bad for like a multitude of different reasons. Like I mean, not for a multitude of different reasons, but like bro, how the hell is there no double elimination by the way? Like how is there no double elimination in a bracket like this? I don't know. Anyways, let's start off with RQ versus SRG. SRG obviously had a really shaky, really shaky um group stage. And I said it before the tournament, how much can we weigh their championship run in Malaysia? Because obviously Malaysia doesn't compare to Philippines or Indonesia in terms of skill level, in terms of competitiveness. So how much can we weigh the fact that SRG dominated Malaysia yet again? I gave them the benefit of the doubt and said that they would come out and perform really well because they are defending champions of EWC, and they are generally really solid on the international stage when they're all clicking. But they did go 2-1, but it was a kind of like a clusterfuck. Like they were inconsistent. They lost to Mythic Seal, I believe. I don't know who they lost to. Somebody can put it on screen, but they are still inconsistent. And the thing about SRG is that, bro, if Innocent is not clicking, this team does not do well. And I think it's gonna it's getting to the point where like this team is just so Innocent reliant because Innocent is one of the most clutch players of all time. He really is. I mean, that's not like an exaggeration. Like Innocent is the reason why SRG even made top three at M6, you know? If it wasn't for that clutch SOD, like bro, even the first fucking match of MPL Malaysia, like the very first match of the regular season, he got a savage to win them that game. In playoffs, he was super clutch in late game team fights. Like in these matches, he's like late game popping off with the Granger, getting savages. Like this dude is super clutch, and I feel like if he's not playing at an insanely high level, they cannot beat the top teams. I don't think they will because they haven't shown me much yet. I think the others have been underperforming. I think Cram has been decent. The Dara pick was good. But we know with Cram it's kind of weird because sometimes he just goes too far forward. Same thing with Humes. I think Stormy always has issues with getting caught out. I think Stormy is always too far up, it feels like. Like he walks up a bit too far and then that forces out like a panic ult or a panic flicker, and that's not ideal. So I don't know. Sakai's has not been himself, obviously, like, I mean, I don't wanna, like I don't know what it is with Sakai's, like, Sakai's he's good, but it feels like it's been a while since we've seen Sakai's take over. Like get in the flow state, like, take over, completely dominate, really solidify himself as one of the best junglers because he is one of the best junglers, but he still hasn't shown that he can really go up to that next tier, that tier that maybe one day he can get to that top one level. As for the prediction, I don't think SRG is going to beat RQ with the way that they've been playing. I think RQ is more consistent in their drafting, in their gameplay. And I think the fact that RQ does look really good. Darren looks incredible. Like every single one of their players look more consistent than the ones at SRG. I do think it'll be a banger series. I think it'll be 3-2. But SRG, I want them to win because I really like this team, and I want them to go back to back because I really like this team. Like Innocent, Sakai's Cram, I love these guys. I'm a really big fan of SRG, but I can't predict them over RQ. So yeah. Next up, we have Onyx Indonesia versus Mythic Seal. Listen, Mythic Seals are really. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. Mythic Seals are a really good team. They can compete, maybe 3-1, maybe even 3-2, but I don't see a world where Onyx ID loses to Mythic Seal first round. I think Onic ID right now looks like the second best team. They are super, super solid. Their drafts are really, really good. Again, they should have won against Team like Philippines, but they threw it away. Like you should never be let in Moscow Steel Lord. It doesn't matter if the Moscow ults and actually does steal it. That should never be happening. You should always prevent that from happening. Um, but yeah, I think if Ionic ID just patch up like their little micro mistakes, this team can potentially make it to finals. Who knows? Maybe even win it because Onic ID is a really, really good team, and they're not over exceeding my expectations. But coming into this tournament, I had TLPH, I had SRG, I had Onic PH at the top. I had Onic ID below them, and now Onic ID is above some of those teams. So I do have to give them the respects. And yeah, I think they'll definitely make the semifinals. Team Spirit versus Onyx Philippines. This one is going to be the best matchup of MSC. It's going to be the most close, insane series. Team Spirit is incredible. This team is very, very solid, and it's been a while. It's been multiple years of sustained excellence for Team Spirit. This team is always making top five, always making top three at M6 at major tournaments. They finished, I believe, 1 or 2 years ago, top four at EWC. This team is the real deal. And this year, with the addition of Hiko, um, Sunset Lover, this team is genuinely really, really good. All their players are incredible. Their drafts are really, really solid. Their team fighting is great. On the other side, you have Onyx Philippines, who has shown shaky sides. But to be fair, I don't think the meta favors Onyx Philippines. I don't think the meta favors Onyx Philippines because King Kong cannot play tank junglers. He's just not good at it. And King Kong, Kelra, Super Friends, Kirk, they all look individually worse than they usually do. Kelra is still being Kelra at times, but it's not like the Kelra, you know? Super Friends is being Friends, but it's not the Friends. And I think Brusco has been struggling this meta. He doesn't look that comfortable on the heroes that he's been picking. And I think with Kirk, it's always an issue with Kirk because I feel like he's always the one that overextends too much. He walks up too far, he gets blown up before the fight starts. And this was an issue that we saw in MPLPH the beginning of the season. Like Kirk is always kind of like doing that. I think that if Onyx plays how they've been playing this whole time at MSC, they're gonna get destroyed. Like I genuinely could see it being a 3-0. Is that what I'm predicting? No, I'm not predicting that because at the end of the day, I have to give them the benefit of the doubt. Onyx Philippines is still defending world champions. And the thing about Onyx Philippines is that this team adapts to every situation almost immediately. Do you guys remember at Snapdragon? I'm not sure which Snapdragon it was. I don't know if it was the one they won first or the one second, but this team, they lost to Team Liquid ID 2-0. They looked horrible. People were like, is this the downfall of Onyx PH? Because this was at the time when in the regular season of MPL PH, they were getting destroyed by Team Liquid, Falcons, and Aurora. They lost to the big three. And then they went to Snapdragon, they lost to TLID, and then in the playoffs, they destroyed everybody. Their ability to adapt to quick meta reads, their ability to adapt when it matters in best of fives, their draft reads, it's always incredible. And the reason why this team is so good, and even though this meta isn't for them, you still have to respect them, is because this team is a mid to late game team, and a lot of games go to the late game, especially at MSC. We've seen it. And Onyx PH, when it comes to late game team fights, they're one of the best teams ever. They're up there with TLPH. Their team fighting is incredible. Their wave managements, their map crossing, the ability to handle side lanes, King Kong split pushing. It's very, very cool to see, and it's very, very good. That being said, who do I think is going to win? I think there's going to be a 5 game series. I think both of these teams are very, very equal. Um, I would actually say both of these teams are kind of contesters. I think the winner of this, spoiler alert, will make it to finals or should make it to finals. But I'm gonna go with Onyx Philippines because I think we have to give them their due diligence because of their track record. Team Spirit is a great team, but they haven't really shown that they can get past that finish line at international events. Maybe this time it changes, but for now, I'm going Onyx Philippines. Semifinals real quick. TLPH versus Onyx ID. 3-2 TLPH. I think it's gonna be 5-game series. Onyx could win. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I think Team Liquid Philippines has just shown a higher level of display, and I think that if Team Liquid Philippines doesn't come out flat like they did against Onyx ID or throw that game against Onyx ID, they do win comfortably. So yeah, RQ versus Onyx Philippines. I'm going Onyx Philippines 3-2. I think RQ is great, but Onyx is better. And then in the grand finals, Team Liquid Philippines versus Onyx ID, not Onyx ID, Onyx Philippines rematch of the grand finals from MPL season 15. And to be honest, guys, I don't really see a world where this doesn't go to full 7 games. I think it's just tradition with these teams. Both of these teams are incredible. Um, yeah, I mean, I think they've been the best teams all season, and I think that last time in finals, Team Liquid Philippines threw about 2 games, and they still won the series. And in the games that they won, they were destroying Onyx. In the games that Onyx was winning, they were barely winning, or it was mistakes from Team Liquid Philippines. And that's not to take anything away from Onyx, but I think if both teams play in this current meta in a finals with everything that we've seen, if Team Liquid is not making mistakes, if Onyx is playing their game, I think Team Liquid just does have the edge in almost every single aspect. I think their drafting is better. I think their team fighting is better. I think their individual players have been playing better. I think their early game has been better. Onyx is not an early game team. I think that Onyx strives in the mid to late game, especially when King Khan is on assassins that can really split push and need items to really be good in later stages of the game. So that is going to be something that they need to look at. They need to kind of switch more towards an early game oriented style because in these matchups, in these playoff matchups, there's no double life, right? There's no double bracket. You're out, you're gone. So the early game is super important because you've seen teams that just blow the team that wins early game a lot of the time just goes away and runs away from it. And I don't think Onyx can come back from Team Liquid stomping the early game. So yeah, I think Team Liquid is gonna win 4-2. I think that they're gonna go back to back. They're gonna go MPL champions, MSC champions, solidifying them as the best team of 2025 and solidifying Carl Tizzy as the greatest of all time because he already is the GOAT, but this will like completely end the debate because you don't win 2 world championships, multiple MPLs, and an MSC and don't be considered the GOAT. So it is what it is. These are my predictions. Definitely gonna get some wrong because there's always an upset. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.